2017, specifically that the voting system developed by the Commission is penetratable, not secure, and falls foul of the requirements of Article 86 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010. Mr. Chairman, that is the statement of breach. Thank you.
I don't know how you want to proceed, Senior Counsel Orengo.
Yeah, we want to we want to address you on some preliminary issues on several categories. I'll make an opening statement, and my learned friends will proceed to several. As you know, the provisions of the Constitution are mandatory, especially when they apply to a body such as this committee. And there's Article 50 of the Constitution, as read with the other articles, particularly the article dealing with fair administrative action. Whenever a public body is vested with authority to deal with matters which touch on constitutional rights, particularly in the Bill of Rights, there must be strict compliance. And Article 19 of the Constitution stipulates that the Bill of Rights is an integral part of the Kenyan democracy. And therefore, first of all, we have a problem with this statement of breach. Because before you can make accusations against anybody, those accusations must be set out in clear terms. And as you can see from the charge, it is a redacted version. It's a redacted version of what is purported to be the statement by Honorable Sabina Chege. And if you look at the rhetorical syntax of this purported statement, there is no clear assertion. To be accused of committing a breach, there must be a statement couched in very positive and clear syntax. And therefore the fact that it has been redacted, in our view, this is for a collateral purpose to defeat the ends of justice. You are not telling us clearly what she has, what she's accused of saying. And that's why you have statements, mnajua kule central, nimesikia. That is a rhetorical statement, couched with an element of sarcasm. And then there are statements like tutafanya nini. Again, how do you draw the inference on a statement which is redacted? What did she say that follows the words nini? So I think for you to have a clear statement of breach, they should set up in clear terms so that Honorable Sabina Chege would know clearly what she is being accused of, said and done, and the full impact of those words can only be understood by having a proper and unredacted version of what she is accused of saying. Secondly, And this one, Honorable Otina Amolo is going to deal with in extenso. You are the one, this body is the one which, this committee, through the secretary, is the one that has read these accusations to Honorable Sabina Chege. And now you are presiding over what is a quasi-trial. You have no independent prosecutor here. You are the one making the accusations. The accusations is in the hand of the Electoral Commission, or a committee of the Electoral Commission, presided over the chairman. So there's a clear breach of the tenets of natural justice, that you cannot be both the accuser and the court to determine as to whether or not Sabina Chege should stand trial, as it were, on these issues. I would want Honorable Tina Molo now to deal with the issues for which we want a full response from the Commission. A trial in which you are the ones who have come with this accusation goes to the very against the very basic tenets of our system of justice, and convicted to pay 50,000 shillings.
And that is why we have come in compliance with your invitation, and that is why we also want things to be done as by law provided. Senior Counsel Orengo has addressed you in the context of Article 50. Let me add that the further article to be considered is Article 47. Senior Counsel Orengo has addressed you on two issues, so in the interest of time I won't repeat them. First is the request for a full text of what was said by Honorable Sabina Chege, because unless you get the full text, it becomes impossible to respond. Yes.
Is this the police?
The second issue on which Senior Counsel Orengo has addressed you is the question of being prosecutor, a judge, and may I add a witness in this context. And I think he'll provide the decision. Let me address you on three additional issues as quickly as I can. The third issue is the context of the summons. The summons that Honorable Sabina Chege received starts by saying, whereas the Commission is seized of a report and material, it suggests, Mr. Chairman, that there was a complainant who therefore lodged a report, or alternatively, that the Commission of its own motion generated a report. It would be fair to provide either the name of the complainant and the complaint, or the report to us before we can respond to the accusations. Number 4 is a fundamental issue on jurisdiction, and there are two parts of it. The first one, Mr. Chairman, is that both the summons and the letter indicate that they have been issued under Clause 6A and 6L of the Electoral Code of Conduct, which is actually Schedule 2 of the Act. And the fundamental question there, as I will demonstrate, is Honorable Sabina Chege, the clip, yes, could it be accompanied by a transcript? That's usually the procedure. You give a clip and a transcript so that we can better,
We shall share with you what we have and what our team is relying on for purpose of prosecuting this matter.
And where are you going?
Good morning again. Sorry we are late. We were trying to type out the ruling. We are now ready. This is the ruling on the respondent's preliminary objection, signed by thank you. This is the ruling on the respondent's preliminary objection, dated today, signed by all the 5 of us. The respondent, through counsel, raised a preliminary objection today, the 15th of February 2022, stating in the main that the Electoral Code of Conduct Enforcement Committee does not have jurisdiction to hear the matter before it. The Electoral Code of Conduct Enforcement Committee has had the submissions of learned senior counsel, urging that a finding be made that the election period has not onset, and that the respondent before the committee is not a candidate and therefore not subject to the jurisdiction of the committee. The Electoral Code of Conduct Enforcement Committee is established under the provisions of paragraph 15 of the second schedule of the Elections Act number 24 of 2011. It's instructive to note that the Electoral Code of Conduct Enforcement Committee is a committee of the Commission and derives its powers from Article 884J of the Constitution, under which the Commission is mandated to develop a code of conduct for candidates and political parties contesting elections. Article 84 of the Constitution obligates candidates and all political parties to comply with the code of conduct prescribed by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. The application of the Electoral Code of Conduct is wide. It's a code that binds all candidates, political parties, leaders, office bearers, agents, members of political parties, or persons who support political parties and the government. The object of the code is to promote conditions conducive to the conduct of free and fair elections, and a climate for tolerance in which political activity may take place without fear, coercion, intimidation, or reprisals. The Electoral Code of Conduct has a lifetime. For the purpose of a general election, it applies from the date of publication of a notice of election until the swearing in of newly elected candidates. This is the election period as defined under Section 2 of the Elections Act. The notice for the 2022 general election was published on the 20th of January 2022 by special issue of the Kenya Gazette Notice Volume CXXIV number 14, and thus makes the committee and its operations alive and recognizable in law. Clause 6A of the code requires that during the election period, political parties, members of political parties, and indeed all those bound by the Electoral Code of Conduct must publicly and repeatedly condemn violence, intimidation, and avoid the use of hate speech, language, or any kind of action that may lead to violence or intimidation, whether to demonstrate party strength, gain any kind of advantage, or for any other reason. In addition, Clause 6.1 of the code requires that all persons bound by the code should reassure voters with regard to the impartiality of the Commission and the secrecy and integrity of the ballot. The respondent herein is a member of Jubilee Party and a serving Murang'a County woman, a member of the National Assembly, having been elected on a Jubilee Party ticket. Indeed, Jubilee Party is a registered political party which has submitted its nomination rules to the Commission and given indication that it will be participating in the 2022 general election. In the premises, the respondent is subject to the Electoral Code of Conduct and is under duty to abide with the same. In terms of the provisions of Article 252 of the Constitution, the Commission may undertake investigations on its own motion. In the matter before the committee, the Commission's attention was drawn to the media report and material bearing utterances by Honorable Sabina Chege, and on his own motion was seized of this matter. Indeed, the question as to whether the Commission has jurisdiction to hear a matter such as the one before it has been the subject of litigation in the High Court in Nairobi, Judicial Review Miscellaneous Application number 592 of 2017, Republic versus Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, in the matter of the Honorable Attorney General and Honorable Jessica Mbalu, ex parte Professor Philip Kaloki, where the court, while hearing a judicial review application filed by Professor Philip Kaloki challenging the jurisdiction of the Electoral Code of Conduct Enforcement Committee on grounds similar to the current objections, reiterated that the provisions of Section 110 of the Elections Act on the observance and enforcement of the Electoral Code of Conduct, it reiterated the provisions of Section 110 of the Elections Act on the observance and enforcement of the Electoral Code of Conduct. It outlined the powers of the committee and concluded that the committee was right in executing its mandate. Further, that the committee is not bound by the provisions of the Criminal Procedure Code and the Evidence Act. The court, upon examination, found that the procedure followed by the committee and the decision rendered was within its powers, and thus upheld the same. The court declined to issue the order sought by the applicant and dismissed the petition. Against this background, the Electoral Code of Conduct Enforcement Committee has jurisdiction and is legally seized of the matter before it for hearing and determination. We make the following orders: 1, that the preliminary objection raised by counsel for the respondent on 15th February 2022 is hereby dismissed, and 2, this matter shall proceed to full hearing. Dated 15th February 2022. Those are our orders. We can give you copies of the ruling, and this is a case referred to, referred to in the ruling, and I direct that the matter proceeds for hearing. Mr. Owie.
Mr. Chairman, just however, since this is our first hearing, we would ask the Commission to have time now because our hearing here was the one in order to lead to a full hearing. In order to proceed to a full hearing, we will need to take full instructions from our client, and we will also need to get material from the Commission so that we would know if any statements have been recorded in pursuance of this matter. If any statements have been recorded, we would think that in order to have a proper hearing and an equality of arms, that those statements should be availed, and the audio recording, if any, of the statements complained of, and that would require about a week to 10 days for us to prepare for that hearing. And I think that's a reasonable request. This was mentioned earlier. The summons indicate that the Commission is seized of a report and material. And I think in the interest of a fair hearing and tenets of natural justice, I think this material should be made available to us so that we know exactly the nature and the substance of the case that we have to meet.
Thank you. We shall give the following directions. That the material the commission will be relying on is just a clip, is very, very brief. We shall share with you, and we'll convene here tomorrow at 9 in the morning to proceed with the hearing. We don't believe you need a week to look at that clip. So those are our directions.
Now, Mr. Chairman, you know that the councils that are involved here, have diaries, and I, for one, can demonstrate that if we were to proceed with the hearing tomorrow, you will be clogging the pot because I have another matter, and my other friend, senior counsel.
Can you look at your diaries and give us a date this week? We are not going to next week. Just give us a date this week, yeah.
That's why I was asking for 7 days. I can give the case numbers of the matters that I'm handling from, in fact, now from at 12:30. You know that Sabina Chege has a right to a counsel of choice. In the hierarchy of tribunals of the courts, any matter before. I mean, your decisions are reviewable by the High
Yes.
Court, yeah.
So can we?
I think
yes.
we're just being reasonable, and I know you have a lot of work to do.
If we could just agree, I see 3 councils. I'm sure if you check your diaries, we possibly could have 2 around and 1 absent. I don't know, because next week is also pretty, as you rightly pointed out, we are also busy. Could we take Friday, for example? Can we negotiate a middle ground?
Yeah, it's not going to really work. Yeah, I think next week will be okay. Any day next week. We're not around. Any day next week. From Sunday we are not around. I think we're being reasonable. Tuesday is okay.
Tuesday next week?
Yes.
Let's convene here Tuesday 22nd at 9 in the morning for the hearing of the matter. The council will be provided with.
Are there going to be witnesses?
You will be provided. You will be provided with the material that will be used. Yes, that is.
And in order not to waste the Commission's time.
Yes.
You already indicated, and that is in the law, that you don't comply with necessarily with the Criminal Procedure Code and the Evidence Act.
Yes.
But you are not a kangaroo court.
No, we are a quasi-judicial institution.
Yeah, you are not a kangaroo court.
Yes, yes.
So we would want to know the source of this material. The equipment that the source of this, because actually I'm saying this because the words that appear in the.
Then perhaps we just play the tape and we allow you to.
No, but from where?
What we are saying. Why don't you get the material?
No, let me tell you.
Yes, yes.
You can reproduce Honorable Chebukati's voice.
I believe that should form your defense then.
No,
when the evidence has been tabled.
No, not
senior counsel,
not
yes.
from our defense.
Yeah.
I'm merely saying if you have a proper case that has got integrity, we would want to know the equipment.
Yeah, but my suggestion is this, that let's you have the material. You can raise that will be part of your defense, I believe.
And when do we get it?
You'll get it today. Then we convene here on Tuesday at 9 in the morning. Thank you very much.
No, I was saying you know, there's something. Yeah. Now. Oh, no. It does get it. Now, what is it? You know, it doesn't really. They didn't tackle all the. They are tackling all one. So today we need to get people watching. Martin can help us prepare that reference. We can get it by the end of the day.
The Garden of Joy is a green project. We are telling you to put a roof whose water you can drink, put a storage tank for harvesting water, and use biodigester to recycle water. And what a privilege, what a joy, you know, it is to be right here at the Garden of Joy. Queen,
Yes. Another thing I would wish to add, Muteti, is about accessibility when you enter to the project. The accessibility is very awesome. As you can see, we have a 9-meter wide road. Mnaesa pitana mangari mawili. There is no jam with this project. You can see we have accessibility, and along every road there is a lot of plants which are planted there, and I want to assure you that hair here is purified. We have clean hair here because of what we've done as Optiven. We've done lots of trees. We've done 3,000 trees here, so your life will never be. Imagine while you are in your balcony, kanjeve tu kanakuja tu kanakupiga tu kale kanjeve kazuri. Just imagine, because of the trees. And we say that come and be with us, join this family, and because we are Christian-based family, this project has a meditation park whereby you can go and pray, whereby you can go and meet your God through prayers, somewhere where you can go rest. There is a area where you can do volleyball. Wanaume mnaweza choma nyama. Yani it's a place where you can't get in Machakos County. Come and join us and make sure you get something and your life will change. Muteti.
Hey, Kolera. Hey, wow. Hey, thank you so much. And I can see people, they want to commit to this project. Please give them your number.
If you want to commit yourself today, in fact today we have an offer which is ending at Sasita usiku. Yes, make sure you call me. I'll give you this information. 0722 90 1789. Call this number 0722 901789. That's my personal number. I'll make sure I take you through even the process of getting this land, because you have to come and see first. We don't sell something which you've never seen. You come first, see, and we provide transport from our Ruai office. In fact, we have an office in Ruai where there is a site manager who can bring you here. Our cars are there which are very good, and we observe the MOH regulations because of what is happening worldwide. And we will bring you and make sure you see your plot. We have beacons in place. We have every plot as a title deed, and immediately you say, plot X is what I want. We make sure we give you the title deed. Go and do your search. You can go and do your search and then come back and make sure you invest with us. Today, if you invest with us, just say interested, and I'll get your name or your email address, and then I'll take you the process of investing with Optiven. Thank you, Muteti.
So, Kalera, what you are saying is that once they call that number, you personally will bring them here, ama utatuma mtu?
Hapana Muteti. Mkinipigia hiyo namba kutoka saa hii, I'll make sure I'll be in your that car, and I'll make sure I come with you start the journey of investment with you. I'll come with you with our driver, and then we'll make sure tumekusaidia kutafuta plot yenye unataka. Maybe you want a corner plot. Maybe you want a residential plot. Maybe you want a commercial plot. Tuko nazo zote. In fact, barabara, this is a government road, and I'm very sure if you get a commercial plot here, it will be huge. It will have, you can do your shop, you can do your kiosk if you wish, but we don't encourage kiosks here because this place is controlled. Make sure you do a good shop, and it will give you return.